What's going on? This is Yancey, author and producer of the This Is Why series. Make sure you go now and subscribe to my website, www.newfacemanagement.org. This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
Hey yo, this is why you go to college. New Face Entertainment. Always paid my bills.
This is why you go to college.
New Face Entertainment. New Face. New Face.
This is why you go to college.
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 Welcome.
Hi,
Miss
Nancy.
Jazz, how are you?
Brother.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yes, that's good. Welcome. And we are here. We're here for the continuation of the New York interviews for This Is Why, a historical documentary on life outside of the classroom, college life outside of the classroom. I'm here with Miss Jasmine Smith.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jasmine. I am from Queens, New York. I currently still reside in Queens. I met him over 10 years ago at Hampton. My freshman year was actually pre-college.
Yes.
I think we met.
It was pre-college.
I had a ton of big sisters that were like, listen, we're going to make sure that you link up with Yancey and he's going to make sure that you're good. And
Okay.
here we are sitting next to each other.
10 years later.
10 years later, and the bond, is still greater.
Right
than
around the
ever.
corner from each other.
I never knew it.
Who knew?
Never
Yeah.
knew, but yeah, that was good times.
So, if you remember, let's just talk about, I guess your beginnings with New Face and how everything got started.
So I thought I was gonna be one of those people that came in and Yancey was just gonna be like, yeah, you're a part of New Face because of who I knew, and he was like, no, like you're gonna go through the process like everyone else. You're gonna do the interview, different things like that, and I guess that was my first real experience with having to not sell myself, but have to go through a full interview process. Coming out of high school, you don't really do too much of that.
Right.
You get your little jobs on the side, but having to actually sit and write and talk about yourself and make somebody believe that you're worth being a part of their team.
Yeah.
So New Face, that was my first experience. I was a part of the street team, and it was really, really fun. Like, it introduced me to, let's just say, sides of college that I guess you don't really know about. Everyone knows you go to school, you meet different people, but as far as being a part of an organization, New Face was the first thing that introduced me to, that part of college life. I was the first person out of my family actually to go to college. So everything for me was a completely new experience. So, I tackled it one step at a time, and New Face kind of helped to do that with the family, that was already there and being welcoming to, to the organization.
Okay, so let's just talk about, we can focus on the family thing for a little bit. I guess we can start work first with the New Face dinners.
Sunday dinners. Sunday dinners is still something that I wish Yancey would still do. Like,
Yeah.
I occasionally think about his macaroni and cheese and his fried chicken, but no, just to get everyone together and be able to just hang out and relax. And even if it was, recap on whether it was the night before or a party that happened, prior, it brought us all together like a really close-knit family, and that became outside of school as well. Like, it just wasn't, when we see each other with New Face, that's the only time I'm going to talk to you type of thing. Like, you really became big brothers and big sisters, and, even people within your class. Like, it created our own, I guess you could say, not cult, but,
They call it a cult at one
yeah,
point.
they call it a cult, and I mean, it's not that, but just the family bond and dynamic behind it. I don't think that anyone will understand if you're not a part of New Face.
Right.
So we do have our own little inclusion that, everybody wanted to get a little taste of, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so, all right, so, you mentioned it a little bit earlier as far as like having that family away from home type of situation. Like, how would you think something like with New Face and what we did, how do you think that affects someone who is away from home that can't go back to their parents that as often? How do you think, like, from your experience,
I think that it's very beneficial when you can be away from home and find a group of individuals that make you forget about that homesickness. It's, you know, it's a great thing. My cousin, she went to Hampton. She graduated 2 years ago. In her first year, she was not trying to be at Hampton.
Yeah.
You know, but she wasn't reaching out trying to find organizations or different things like that to be a part of.
Right.
And, you know, being that New Face is not still there, that would have been something that I definitely would have told her that she needed to get involved in. Because she was homesick, she felt like she didn't know anyone else from New York. So just, you know, the culture shock of leaving what you're used to and going someplace totally different.
Right.
It benefits you when you have other people who feel the same way, because now you can, you know, share experiences, different things like that, and then you meet people who can kind of help to gauge you out of that process and make you feel more comfortable. And again, New Face kind of did that for me. I knew a lot of people at Hampton, but to have my own little circle and crew of people, it was different because the experiences that we shared, you know, helped to bring us together a little bit better.
Yeah, that's good. That's something I always try to instill in everybody from like the beginning to toward the end. So that's real good. All right, so earlier you talked about like things you weren't really used to, like with the interviews and thinking that you was like a sure shot in there. When it came to like the meetings, the Tuesday meetings, how did that help you prepare for like things as an adult? Like, you know,
be on time. Be on time is one of the key things that it taught me. You know, in life you're gonna have where you have a ton of things on your plate, but then you also have to make sure that you have time for the things that you want to be a part of. So making sure that no matter what was going on every Tuesday, you knew what time you had to meet, where we were meeting, different things like that. It made you become responsible.
Right.
You know, again, coming into college, that's not something that you're used to having to do. You have to go to school, try and be on time, but as far as being held accountable for if you show up. If you can't make it, did you let someone know?
Right.
You know, that I'm not going to be there. All of those things helped, you know, to help transition, even just for classes, knowing that, okay, I have to make sure that I'm on class, you know, in class on time. This is what I have to have, different things like that. So it all helped with the transition of coming out of high school and becoming a, you know, a college student. It's a very big difference, and not all organizations help to give you those skills. You might join a dance team, but it's only to dance. It's not teaching you anything outside of what that organization is built for. With New Face, you got a little bit of everything, you know, networking, you know, being able to sell, whether it be yourself or sell an event. You know, when we would come up with the event trying to sell tickets, you know, you got to be able to do that. You know, you might have to come outside of your box, outside of your comfort zone, to be able to get those individuals who might not have ever been to a New Face party. You know, different things like that. So again, it just helped to make the college, you know, transition a little bit easier.
Cool. All right, so when we're talking about, I guess like the parties, because you know, also too, it was a New Face meeting you had to be on time for. You had to be on time for the parties too.
Definitely had to be on time for those.
Yeah, so like people had different jobs, you know, like make sure everyone had to be on time for the party, and other people had to be like, you know, you got to be life of the party. You can't just sit at the party and not do anything. You know, like make sure the party's going, make sure, you know, everybody's energetic. So a lot of times, even though what the main thing that we did was throw parties, you know, it was still a job. You know, so
Absolutely.
So that was good. Let's see, the 12 to 2. You know, you're a freshman. Yeah, the 12 to 2. I just wanted to get your perspective because now it's 2018, and a lot of people don't even, you know
what the 12 to 2
yeah,
is.
it's like, you know, because I think the 12 to 2 was suspended for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, so you know, now it's back, but they don't really know where it resonated from. And you being in 2008, you know, we started the 12 to 2, us New Face, in 2003. So just your experience from, you know, seeing the 12 to 2 and what it meant for you being on campus.
See, I was one of those bad students who geared her classes around 12 to 2.
It's not bad. We used to tell people to do that.
Right, it wasn't bad, but it also was Listen, I'm not doing anything else because I have to make sure I'm in the student center from 12 to 2. But no, it was that break that you needed, like in the middle of the day, whether you were stressing from a class, maybe, you know, you were stressing from an exam that was coming up, different things like that. 12 to 2 to me was your relax time. Don't think about anything else.
Keep talking.
You're going to come. You're going to meet with your friends. You know, you're going to have a good time. Whoever the DJ was, usually DJ Tay James. No, big ups to him. It was just a good, fun time. I think my favorite 12s to 2 were when we did like Rep Your Coast and when we were getting ready for like New Face anniversary for Mardi Gras time. Those were my favorite 12 to 2s, to see how other, I guess you could say, coasts came together and what was fun to them. Like I know when we did, what was it, East Coast Day, we used to have Swedish fish, we used to have quarter waters, we used to have pizza, you know, different. It allowed other people to see how you live when you're at home. So, you know, everybody would come out with their New York fitters, they I Love New York t-shirts, even West Indian music, like that is something that we get on the East Coast, so we would turn it out, but everybody was able to highlight and, you know, just get a taste of home. Wow, in that little short period of time, you know, it felt like, okay, I was at home for a little party real fast, you know, and then you get back to reality. But, you know, 12 to 2, they definitely need to bring it back because school can be overwhelming. And waiting for the weekend to come to be able to release the steam or to be able to hang out, different things like that, it's very much needed. You just got to make sure you don't take too much advantage of it.
Is there anything that you would like to see different when it comes to like applying for school, applying for college, and like actually going to college? Do you think there's anything that you would want to see different with the kids today?
I know for myself, when I was applying to schools, I went to a school that was not familiar with HBCUs at all. So they were trying to gear me towards other schools, different programs that I just was not interested in. So I really had to reach out to other people in, let's say, like my church or in my community who might have went away to school, who knew how to do a college essay, knew, you know, what the process was for filling out your applications, and I pretty much had to do that on my own. So I feel like in today's age, we don't really see much, whether it be on TV in our neighborhoods, that try and push kids to go away to school. They usually have to have a family member, a friend of the family, their parent might know someone who went away to school for them to want to push to even want to go. And I feel like something like New Face in this documentary, having high school students see, you can see that there are people who are just like you, who come from the same neighborhood, who might have had ups and downs, but still felt like they had a purpose in life. And, you know, just reach out. Reach out, because school really is important. I will say for my little period of time being at Hampton, it helped to mold me into the person that I am today, as far as being responsible, respecting yourself. Even though it was a strict dress code and it was a big adjustment, you know, at first, and last time I went to Hampton, I didn't even see that dress code. I felt like it was a totally different school, but that helped me to know, okay, when you go on an interview, this is how you need to look. Not someone having to tell me after the fact, well, because you came looking like this might have been why you didn't get the job. Like, you already knew if you were going into a certain building, you were in a complete suit. You had on dress shoes, different things like that. I remember in pre-college, I never forget, Miss Inman walked in and somebody had on a tube top. And she shut the whole class down and was like, listen, your classmate felt the need to come to class dressed wrong, so now you all have to suffer. So now you all have to be accountable for each other. You don't learn that sometime in everyday life. It is when you go away to college and when you experience different things that help to show you that life is not always, you know, guns and roses. Sometimes, you know, you're gonna have a little hiccup, but Hampton prepared me to be a strong, independent person. It brought me around a lot of people that helped to still bring me up to this day. Even Yancey, like I said, I met Yancey in 2007. Now this is my daughter's godfather, you know, and you know he's just always there for me. If I have an issue, you know, I can call, I can vent to him. All of my children, my daughter's godparents are actually from Hampton. Both of her godmothers are both, you know, Hampton graduates. Her father is a Hampton graduate. So you meet good people, and you meet good people with values, and you know, who just want to better themselves. And I think that is something we definitely need to push for. With all the love and hip hops and you know things like that you have on TV, they're not showing what they did to get to the places that they were. They never talk about, well, I went to college, I went and I got my education. You just see the money and the fame. But the money and the fame comes with knowing your business, knowing how to read a contract, or, you know, different business deals if you want to be an entrepreneur. New Face even helped me with that. I have a cousin who wants to start her own business but had no clue how to go about it. So, you know, just telling her, get a notebook, write down your ideas, you know, plan it out. If you have a team that you want to work with, everybody meet together, you know, talk about what it is, how to come up with a flyer, how to market, you know, different things like that. All of that came from my experience being at Hampton and, you know, being at New Face. Like, I feel like no one works harder than Yancey when it comes to, you know, pushing and promoting something. Even this documentary, for him to be traveling all over, reaching out to people. When you find that you have a passion for something, you take it and you run with it. You can't be afraid. It might be some hiccups, but at the end of the day, you have to keep trying. You know, Hampton says good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. So, you know.
Try and spin it. They over here spinning some lines. You got it. You got, go ahead, finish saying what you got to say. You got it.
But yeah, no, you have to believe that you're, you know, worth more than what the people around you might tell you.
Right.
And even myself, I did not finish, but here I am with the 4-year-old, and I'm back in school. I'm doing, you know, University of Phoenix online because I know that I still can better myself.
Right.
Even with the hiccups and the challenges, there's still, you know, a bigger plan for me, and you know, I'm just gonna keep working towards that.
Good. All right. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
Jasmine Smith, everybody.
Yes, this is why we go to college, guys.
All right.